Hello, this is Timo and this is another video of my project where I'm talking and building my old Lego. Today we're not going to build, we're going to do a review of a set we were doing before. Well, the alternative build of Lego train set 4558. It's a so-called Metroliner, and the alternative build is displayed here. But it's also on my table here. Metroliner, it came out in 1991. It was available till 95. It has 739 pieces. But for the alternative build, this is what is still left. Quite a lot. Quite a lot. Yeah. Which is a very, it's a very nice alternative build. Let's take a closer look. Let's just first start what's all included. There's 11 minifigures in this set. Also an alternative build. Let's just start randomly. One railroad company stuff guy with some luggage car. Then we have, I can show them both, taking the chair with him. This is a suitcase. By the way, this is, I think they are exactly the same for the A model as for the alternative build, the way the minifigures are put together. Two guys that could actually be twin. Yeah, it's interesting that they actually have such a similar outfit, except for the hair piece. Then there's this cowboy, or with a cowboy hat. And in this car there are some there's this person with this lady with this hair piece that is just very loose. Maybe it's a toupee. And then you have 11, a lot to show. Let's them all put them back again where they belong. And there's another guy, maybe a younger kid with a cap and a red, blue, white outfit. Then there's two ladies, same haircut. I mean, back then you didn't have so much differences in haircuts, and I mean, you had only one typical face, the smiley face. One lady, one with a pearl chain, and one is from the railway stuff, and she has a different outfit. She has like a more female looking outfit. There was a time that Lego more and more started to have different kind of genders. Make it different in the gender. And there's another gentleman and then another girl. And actually the gentleman is just wearing the old railway stuff outfit from the 12-volt system. I don't know if this is like a hint, like a link to it, like, hey, this was how it was before. Maybe a retired rail stuff employee. So that's the 11. No, there's one more, of course, the train driver. And yeah, the train driver. And then you can also see that those roofs are able to get them off, but not always so easy. And of course, the train driver, we should not forget him. He has an important role, of course, in the set because he's driving the train. Yeah. Yes, and all they have this classical smiling face, which was in 91 when the set was released, still a norm. Yeah. And then, what do we do next? Let's see if I can take off the platform without, it's working. Let's just take the entire platform that's included in the set. or in this alternative build. I'm not sure if this platform is very different from the one of the A model. I imagine those platforms always to be a bit more smaller, so this is actually quite big for what I imagined, for what I remember. But still very basic. But still nice that they actually include a platform. They could also just not include it. Platform. Let's start with maybe the most lesser interesting car, which immediately has an interesting story because there's some this yellow thing. I have no idea what it is, but I mean you can just take a minifigure and then use it as a bed, as an outdoor bed on a rolling train. Yeah. This is what I was really wondering. When I was building it, I was really like, what is that? Like, okay, it's like a bed for sleeping, but outside it's a bit cold, maybe. And it's also like a kind of, you can flip it open in there. So like a kind of, yeah, you can store some stuff in it. And then there's these big doors. So it's a strange wagon. It's like half with something built on it and half and not built, like flatbed and half not flatbed. There's bikes inside, and then in the instructions they were saying you also have to, suitcase. And then the instructions were also saying you have to put some cups in it, which I also didn't get what it was representing there. Just cups. Okay. This is maybe the more stranger one of the other wagon in the locomotive. And then we have the middle wagon, let's say, with middle doors. A setup, a layout that you not see that often. Mostly the doors are on the end of the wagon, right? Especially when it's like faster trains. And but it's very basic build, and it's such a basic build that actually when you open it, you can actually almost split the wagon in two parts. Because of course, to overlap those two doors, you would need a 1x10 plate at least, right? Tile. And I don't know if they exist now, but back then for sure they didn't exist. So yes, and then you can take a look inside. Just very basic, with some seats, and of course always two less seats, because it's like a wagon with 4 seats. That's not coming any close to real trains, right? But of course this is this odd scale, minifigure scale. And then we have I think what I liked the most about this alternative build, the locomotive, the engine. And of course it has this famous Metroliner parts for the fronts. But very nice. Very nice. This is the thing with the alternative builds. With most alternative builds, I never built them before, so that's the first time I see them in this project, in this YouTube channel. Yeah, and then yeah, we can take a look inside, and there was something, you will see it now. There was something with the cable. If you watched the talking and building video, I can make it pop up there. You will see there was a problem with the cable. I had a cable that was almost so much damaged. All the plastic just was dried and just fell off. So the metal wires were visible, and then it can cause like a short circuit, of course. So now I replaced it by 2 short cables, and they piled up there, and you can maybe even better see it, I think, when you open just this door. Then you can see, yeah. But besides that, this is how it looks like inside. 2 driving positions. This displays sidewards, which I don't really get. But yeah, there's always, with alternative builds, they're always a bit odd sometimes, you know. That's how it looks like. 1 driver on one side. So let's put the roof back. And I have a lot of memories with the Metroliner, but since this is the alternative build, I want to save those stories for the A model, the wheel Metroliner. What do I think about this alternative build? Good question. I really like it. I really like it. It's a really good alternative build. You also have alternative builds, mostly actually with the Lego Technic, that are a bit lesser interesting. But I think this one is also interesting. The locomotive steals the show, of course, for sure. This wagon is also nice, but very basic. And this one is a bit an odd one. If the locomotive and this wagon would look a bit like this, a bit like weird, then I'm not sure. This is a bit like, it seems like when they were designing the last wagon, this wagon, they had to do with the pieces that were still left. But I showed you before already that there were still quite a lot of pieces available, so I don't know. Yeah. But in general, I like this alternative build. Very nice. It's of course always nice that the alternative builds are actually existing and included in the set. I would give it like a 7 or 8 maybe. Yeah. Of course, those pieces, those Metroliner fronts, they are just helping a lot to make it a nice design, because it's just like big shaped pieces that are, yeah, you cannot make it look very different when you use those pieces. I have the loop. By the way, the power unit was not included in the set, which was always a bit weird. Maybe they were assuming that you were buying more of this set. It was not like a starter set, right? It's just like a set, because you could mostly not get those wagons and locomotives separately. So maybe that's the reason that they didn't include the power unit in the set. I think later 9-volt train sets, they actually had a power unit included. But here you still had to buy it also in the same thing with the 12-volt system. So the loop, the tracks were included, but not the power unit and the connection cable for it. Yeah, just saying that. Let's just make it run. And that's always a thing with the 9-volt system, because it's still already 30 years old. But it's running. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's lights. Yeah. And yeah, this cable. Before I will do the A model, the Metroliner, the build video, the talk and build video, I will order that cable, which are not a bit pricey, because I don't know, I checked and they are like €5, which actually is not that much. But for just one simple cable, it's maybe still quite pricey. And I don't know if there's like replicas, if there's other companies that actually produce those cables also. Let's make it a bit faster, run a bit faster. Yeah. But yeah, it's always nice to have this trains running again after such a while, with this particular sound, which is so nice. Maybe I should also just make it shortly, briefly run the other side, the other direction. Then you can actually see maybe in this camera. The headlights of the locomotive. Or maybe you don't see it. Yeah, glimpse. Unfortunately, the cameras are not orientated that well to see those headlights. Yeah. Yeah, now you can see it maybe. I should put off the lights. But that's the thing with those headlights, of course. It would be so nice if Lego would, I mean, still the same nowadays, but also back then it would have been nice if they would have just also maybe put some lights in the train itself, where the passengers sit. Yes, I think that's it. I think we saw it now running. Amazing to see it running again. But we will see more trains running for the next videos. Also when I'm doing the Metroliner, the A model, which is more famous than the alternative build, more known. Yes, that's it. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe to my channel. That's very important for my channel to grow. I also really appreciate it when you leave a comment in the comment section. I hope to see you soon in the next video, and I wish you a wonderful day. Goodbye.